Hello coding aliens. Welcome to my YouTube channel Code with a Key. How are you doing guys? In this video, we are going to build an ultimate authentication video tutorial using React, Redux and Firebase. So, because we need authentication in our almost every application that we build today, and this is the most important and crucial step for any application, right? So, and one more thing, after the end of this video you guys can build a very efficient authentication system just like this that we are going to build it today. So in this video tutorial we will also make the authentication easier, and you guys gonna learn all the important concepts regarding authentication. For that, you need to watch this video till the end. I hope you would certainly like this video, and if that's so make sure to subscribe this channel and press the bell icon to never miss any video awesome build from this channel. So if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. So let's get started and see the demo of the build first of all. So you can see here we have a card here and we have a simple form. We are using React for the UI and the Redux for the state management. So whenever we create a user or whenever we authenticate the user, we just want to persist that user for for that for that respective session there, right? And then we will use the Firebase authentication feature to authenticate our user using the email and the password. So we have two input field. First is email, another is password, and we have a register and the login both on the same card. This is all because of the state, right? So first of all, what I will do, I will just register a user with a test email here. So we'll just register the user test1@gmail.com, and here we just provide the password 12345 6, right? And now when click on this done, now you can see here registered successfully. And when we click on this, now you will see here we have the authentication, and we have successfully authenticated the user, and here the result of this. So here is the unique ID, which is here the name, and is the email is verified with Google or not, whether it will be a Gmail or not. If it is Gmail, then you will see here it will be verified here, and we have the status of this here, that is the last login status here. Okay, now when I click on this logout, we will be log out here. So if just ask us wanna break up with us, just click on OK, and we are just logged out here. So this is how we registered the user, but this time we just want to log in the user. So here now you can see here we have the login state here, and we have the same updated field that we have provided here. So when we click on this done, now you will see here will be logged in here. So now you can see here logged in successfully. When I click on this OK button, now you will see here we have securely logged in here. So this is how we are done this. So one more thing I will just show you by any Gmail account or verified Gmail account. So let's do that. Code with a key @gmail.com. So basically this Gmail account is verified. So we just update the password also here, and we just click on this login. It throw the error because we have not registered here. So it is fully authenticated system, so no one just get pirated and just got into the system, right? So for what I would do, we are just want to first register them, then we will be able to log in here. So when I click on this, now you can see here we are registered successfully, and now you can see the verification is already false because we have not used the password, that is the password of our actual Gmail account, right? So our password is not verified here. So if you put the same password of what you have for the Gmail account, then you will see here the verification status will be changed. So the status will be turned true, the verification status turned true when you will be logged in with the Gmail and the password of that respective Gmail. Then this verification will be the status will be true. And one more thing, if you sign in using the Google or using the Facebook, this also got status true. That thing we will cover in our next part, or in the next video of this authentication series. So that's it from the demo. So we will just, let's get to in the Visual Studio Code and just do the coding there. So inside of the terminal, you guys have to first create a boilerplate React application. For that, you need to enter the command, that is npx create react app. So it just bootstrapped our React application with this create react app, and you just provide the name of the directory. So we just want this whole thing inside this current directory, so that's why we have just put that. And then you, in this video we will use Redux for the state management. So for that you will need a template for the Redux. So for that you need to pass the template Redux and hit the enter button. You will get the whole bootstrapped React application with this create react app, and you will get a boilerplate React application, and from where you can simply debug the whole scenario in your browser. So I have already run this command, and we have a predefined these things here. So if you will if you run this command successfully, you will get this type of directory, and you will get all these files here. So inside of this source we will have a app which contains the store for our estate. Then we have a features for all these counters. You can see here we have this app.js, and we have a setup test files here. So you can simply remove all the test files, right? And you can simply remove all the test files in there. Okay, so we have already run that command. So we have this boilerplate React directory that we already have here. Now you can simply test this application. So for that you just need to pass the command, that is npm start. So when you do that, you will see there will be a Redux icon with animating Redux icon, and then there you will have a counter also there. So if you got that screen, then you have successfully run your React Redux application, that is bootstrapped with create react app. So I'm just going to install the required dependencies that we are going to use to build our authentication, and we need only one dependency. That name is, I'll just show you the package.json. So that only dependency that we need is this Firebase. So basically you only need this Firebase dependency for this project. So to install that, you need to pass this command npm install Firebase like this, and Firebase dependency will be added to your project, and after that you will now easily go and do the authentication stuff. Okay, so this is the project setup, the whole project setup that we have concluded here. The next step that we will see, we will just create a project on Firebase and just enable the authentication system there on the Firebase console. So inside this Chrome, just go and search for console.firebase.com, and in the console there you just need to create a project. So I have already created a lot of projects here. So you just click on this, add a new project, just give the name. So just give the name here like this, click on the continue, and after that just click on the continue. Just give the whole thing as same like this. Just click on the create project. So you just create the project, right? and when the project will be created, you will have first registered your project on the Firebase. So the registration is very simple, very easy. You guys can simply do that. So I have already created a project with this authentication, but I'm just showing you the glimpse of how you can do this if you are an absolute beginner and you don't know about the Firebase. So here we have created our project here, and now you can see we have this auth project here. So we are just going to use the web app. So for that you just need to register that. So we'll just register with this authentication, and if you want to deploy your project on the Firebase, now you can simply click on check this box for the Firebase hosting, but we are not going to deploy that, so that's why I have unchecked that. And here just click on this to register this app. So here we have just registered the app, and do nothing there. You just need to only continue to the console. Now we are back to our console here. What we will do, we just go to our project setting, and inside of this project setting, the only thing that we required and that is very important is the config. So this config is very important here. We will need this config in our project section, in our project project, right? So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code, because we are done with the Firebase setup. So this is how you can see, this is so much easy to configure the Firebase. Just integrate this Firebase in our project there. So we have already installed the Firebase dependencies in our project. The only thing is we guys now go to build this application. So now inside of this app.js we have already a simple form that you guys can see here, that we already have a simple template, because our main motive is authentication. We are not going to do any designing or any HTML code that you can see here. So our main motive is to just create an authentication system, so we will focus on that. So we have a boilerplate authentication card here, so but it is not a style. So what I will do, I will just go and style that. So inside of this app.css we just paste our whole CSS code here, and let's save that. So if you have any issue with styling and doing these designs, so we just we just added a repository on the GitHub. You guys go and check out that repository on GitHub. We will provide the link in the description there. So we have this authentication card here, but it is not functional anymore because we need to make it functional here. It's just a boilerplate code for this card here inside of this app.js. This is the whole code. I will just simply go and scroll down, so you guys can simply check out that, and you will get the link of this repository in the description that we have just created a repository on the GitHub there. Okay, so where you can see here we have created the state, that is a register or is registered. So initially it is false, so the register and is registered is initially false. So here from here we can simply switch between login and the register state. As you guys can see here, we are switching between by clicking on this. So this is all because of here. Now you can see here we have toggling between the register and the login using this it says register using the use state hook here. Okay, so this is the whole scenario. And one more thing, that we have a home.js. So home.js is basically when we will successfully logged in our system, then we will simply show this home.js like this. So we have already this home.js also here along with me here inside our project. So this is the code of this home.js, which is a very simple. You guys can simply go and design all the things here. So now let's move to our one of the most important topic that we are going to build. First we will create the state here. So we will create the state for the users here. Okay, so to create the state, we have a feature, and inside of the feature we have these things here. So what we will do, first of all, we have a counter slice. So we just grab this counter slice and put it inside of this parent directory, and we just remove all the rest of these things. So let's remove that rest of the thing from the features here, because we are not going to use it anymore. And what I will do, I will simply remove the counter also, and we just grab this counter slice and put it back inside of this features here. So we just create the user slice. So what I will do, I will just simply rename it to user slice. So we just rename that user slice. Okay, so here you can see here we have predefined code here, but we are not going to use any of that. So just pay attention here. This is very important state here. So we are just creating a user state that will be persisted with our application here. Okay, so this is very important step. So what we will do, we will just simply remove this create async thunk. So let's remove that part. Okay, so for the initial state we have and we just give the name user. So just give the name user, and initially user will be null. So we have user null here. Okay, we are not going to use a counter API, so just remove that also. Okay, so whenever you just got the counter slice, just remove it and update it with the user slice here. And here we have a name. So for this name we just put it the user, and here we have a create slice, which is a Redux, which we have imported it from the Redux toolkit here. Okay, then we have a bunch of informations to pass it here. So we will have a two function, one for the login and one for the logout here. So instead of this increment, we just create a login, and here we just do some actions there. So we just pass the action also. Okay, so here we have an state with the name of user, so state.user, and here when we will have a user, we just dispatch the payload. So for that we have actions.payload. So this is just the same thing that what we have done in our context API, the context API project that I have already built when we create a Facebook clone. So if you have not watched that part, so you guys can simply go and check out in the link in the description for the Facebook clone. So in the Facebook clone we have done the context API there. So this is the same thing. We just use a template for the Redux for doing the same thing for the context API here. So first of all, we have a login, and then we will have a logout function, right? So we have a login and the logout function here, and when we just log out there, then user will be null here. So it is that simple here. Just remove that thing. We don't need this thing anymore. Just remove that also. Okay, so now you can see here we have an extra reducer, so we are not going to use any of that. So let's remove that. Okay, so we have just removed that thing. So basically we have two functions, two reducer. One is login state. The login state will dispatch the payload, and the logout state will just simply update the user state back to the null here. So here we have a counter slice, so just update it with the user slice, and instead of this increment, decrement and all that, just put here login and the logout. So these are two reducers here. Okay, and last we have a select count. So we just update it with the select user, and we have select user dot user like this. So this is how we will select the user. And then the last thing, that is okay, let's remove that. Okay, so update this counter slice to user slice. Okay, so we are done with this. So this is our user slice here. So I'm just simply go and debug dry run from top to bottom here. So here first of all we import the create slice, then we will create an initial state for the user. Initially it will be null, then we just use this create slice, and here just pass all this JSON type data, that is name, that is the state of the name, then the initial state that we have here, then we have a bunch of couple of reducers here. So here we have a login, login and the logout. So we will dispatch a login and the logout state whenever we use in our project there. So these are the reducer. Okay, and we just export all these things here, like here, so we can use that anywhere in our project here. So we just export that things here. Okay, so these are the things here, but it is but we are halfway down of creating this. We need to make it persistent. So for giving it persistency, you need to go back in your store.js, and inside of this store.js, you just need to first of all import the user reducer from user slice that we have created here. So we just import the user reducer from the user slice, and here the configuration of the store, you need to update it with the user reducer. So this is how you just update configure the store here. Okay, if you go and see in the index.js, you will see here we have a provider that is a global provider with this store. So this store just provide the global state of the user to anywhere in our project there. Okay, so let's go back to this store.js. So we are done with this store.js, and the user slice is also done here. So let's save both of these things here. So now after this, we have a user state here. So we have already created our user state. To test this, you need to go inside of your app.js, and what we will do, we will simply implement these things, use our user, get the user, like here. So just pay attention here. So here what we will do, we'll just create an user object here, and here we will use a select use selector hook, that we will import it from the React Redux. So inside of this use selector, we just select the user that we have already created with the state in the user slice. So you select user will provide all the necessary payload of that respective user, whether the user is null or when we have the payload for that user. Okay, so we have these things. Okay, then we have a user. So initially user will be null, so we just want to check that thing. So how we will do this, we just simply test it. So here we will do the testing here. So inside of this app, if we have a user, means user is not null, right? So if we have a user, means if the user is logged in, we just render the home home component that is here. Otherwise just render this component. So just grab whole thing and just put this inside of this. So this is how we will create the user state here. So if we have the user, means the user is logged in, then render the home component. Otherwise throw the user to the login component. So just save this. Let's make it smaller. Okay, so now you can see the user state is null. So we are getting these things here. So what I will do, I will simply negate this. Okay, and when we just negate it. Now let's save this. Now we'll see the state will be updated. Okay, so let's refresh this. Okay, so when we refresh this, now you will see here we have negated that thing, means the we just negate that thing. So that's why we are able to see this home component here. So when the user is null, we will only see this card. Okay, so when the user is logged in, we will see this home card. So we have tested both the thing. Now the only thing that is left here is just integration of the Firebase. So Firebase integration is very easy, very simple, and you guys can simply do in I think in only 30 seconds. It just take 30 seconds for that. So inside of this, just create a firebase.js file here. So just create this firebase.js. Let's create that. Okay, firebase.js is already created. Let's see Okay, so we have already have this firebase.js here. So here what you have to do here, inside of it, now you have to simply import the firebase from the firebase dependency that you have already installed here. And the thing that I have shown here, that is the config here, you just need to grab this, copy this, copy this thing, just paste it down here, paste it down here like this. And you have to initialize the firebase project, or you will not if you want to initialize that, when you need to use the database feature, you need to initialize that. Otherwise you can skip that thing. Okay, so after that we have an auth object. So for that we are using the firebase.auth. And one more thing that is very very important for you to, you guys have to simply enable the authentication here inside of this project setting. So for that you just go to the authentication tab here and click on this get started, and where you will get a bunch of sign in providers here. So here you will get the sign in using the email, password, Google Play Games, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, Yahoo, Microsoft, Apple, and all that things here. So for this build we will only use this email and password authentication system. So just click on this save button. Okay, so we have enabled that. So now you can see here it is enabled here. And after two or more videos will also come on how we will do the Google authentication, Facebook authentication, Twitter authentication, the GitHub authentication, and the Apple authentication. So we will have a bunch of videos on that respective authentication sign-in providers here. So in this very first video we just only see in this video the email and the password authentication system. So we have enabled that. Now let's go back to our VS Code here. So inside of this we have successfully set up our firebase.js. So we have successfully stored the firebase.js here. Now inside of, let's do that. Okay, so inside of this you can see here we have exported the auth here. So wherever we use this authentication object we can use in our project here. So let's save this. Let's go back to the app.js, and here we will just create a bunch of state for this. So here we just create the state for email. So let's create the email, set email. Initially it will be empty, then we will have a password. So password, set password, use state. Initially it will also be empty string there, right? Okay, so you guys can see here we have a done button here. So inside of this we just create a on click property here, and we just put it here, handle submit, right? Just create the function handle submit function at the top. So const handle submit, and here we just provide the event as an object, and we just prevent any browser default rendering issues there we got there. So here we are done with this. So here we have just provide the e.prevented default. It just protect our React app to go in infinite refreshing when we hit the button every time here. Okay, so we are done with this. Okay, the only thing that is we need to specify whether we have to call the handle, the sign in, the login feature, or the register feature. We have to make the distinction between these two. So how we will do this? So if we have is register, means if is registered is true. Okay, so if it is true we will just call this handle login function, and if it is false then we just create the handle register function. Just create these two functions. So const handle login like this. So for the testing purpose, we just put the alert of that. So this is for the login, logged in like this, and const, and we just create and handle register function also. So handle register like this. We just okay, just create the arrow function there, and here just for the testing purpose, we just put there registered. So let's test this whether it is working or not. Okay, it is handle login. Let's put that L here. Oops, yeah, it is now correct. Initially it is misspelled, right? We have misspelled that. Okay, so now let's save this. Go back. Just go back to our React Redux application. Now here we have these things here. Okay, so when I click on this, you can see here it is registered. Okay, so click on this. Okay, now change the status to the login. Now click on this. Now it is logged in. So the state is working perfectly here. Now let's set the email and the password here. So it is very easy for setting that thing. So here inside of this input, we just provide a value. So for this value, it is just email, and we just want to add a on change property. So when we just change this, so we just update the state of email state. So let's do that. Set email e dot, let's add event as an object here. So e dot target dot value, and do the same thing for the password also. So grab that, paste it down inside of this password. Okay, and instead of this email, we just update it with password. So password, and just put the value also password like this. Okay, so let's save this. So we have email and the password state here. Okay, then what we will do, we will do the actual login and the registration. So here inside of this alert section, just remove that. Okay, and now we just check if we have the email and the password is not empty. Okay, so let's check that thing. First of all, we have just put that. Okay, so if we have this email and password which is not equal to an empty string, then we have an auth. So here we will use this authentication. So here we have this auth, so use that auth. So auth dot, it just have a function that is auth on state changed. So if the state is changed here, okay, so basically this auth dot state changed will be used when there will be a change in the user. Means if we have a different user is logged in with that different states there, so we will use this function in our app dot in this app.js when there will be a change in user. For that we will use a hook, that is a use effect hook. So for this login, we just create we just sign in the user. So for that we just create a function that is a sign in with email and password. So here we just provide the email and provide the password. So if we successfully sign in, then we just create a then callback here. So just we have this then, and here we just alert the user. So just alert the user like this, and here we just provide sign in successfully, sign in, yeah, logged in successfully. Just put that logged in successfully, logged in successfully like this. Okay, and for the registration here, so we do the same thing here, but there will be a some minor change, that is, if we have the same condition for this also. So we have an email and the password which is not equal to empty string. So here we have this auth dot, we just create a user when we register the user, we just create the user. So create user with email and the password. Just provide the email and provide the password also here. Okay, then we have then callback and data, and just what we will do, we just simply alert the user that user is registered. So registered successfully, like this. So this is how we handle both of these things. But the only thing that is left here, we have to do on changed authentication on changing there. So we just want to check the state of the user, whether when the status is changed here. So we are done with this login in the register thing here. So let's check that it is halfway down. It will not going to authenticate, or we just not going to simply thrown back to the home page. We will explain why is that. So first of all, just put that test@gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 9. Just click on this. Now we'll see the alert function or not. Okay, so let's see that. So you guys can see here inside of this console that auth user not found, and this is there is no record corresponding to this identifier. So the error is not the user is not alerted with the error. This is because, so we just want to do that. So we just click we have a catch here for any fallback here. So we just simply alert the user with this fallback pause here. So we just provide this alert here like this, and we do the same thing there for handle register also. Let's copy this catch statement here and just paste it down here. Okay, so now let's save this. You will see here where we have this alert system working there. So basically the user is not registered yet, and we are logging with that, so that's why it will throw error. So here now you can see here the error is this: there is no user record corresponding to this identifier. So now click on this register. So now we are on the registered state here. Now when I click on this, now you will see here the user is registered successfully. Now you can see here registered successfully. So we are registered here. So if you go to the Firebase here, and if you go to the project overview, let's go to the project overview, and here inside of this authentication, now we are registered here. So now you can see my Gmail, that from the Gmail that we have registered here. We have the created state, we have the last signing state, and we have the user ID. So we have this bunch of information is on the Firebase console, and we can use this information in our project also. So we have logged in here, but sorry, we have registered here, but we when after a successful registration, we just want to go to the home.js, right? So we are not directed to that home.js. This is because we have not updated the state of the user. So you need to update the state of the user. So for that, it is very a simple step to do. So we will use a use effect hook here. So let's make it bigger. Let me make it bigger now. Okay, so we just use a use effect hook. So use effect. So whenever there will be a change in the dispatch here, we will update the state of the user. So here inside of this, we will have a auth state changed. So this function we are going to use here, and here inside of this, we just pass the dispatch. So dispatch, for that we just create the dispatch, and dispatch which will have all the actions. The payload payload value, five values have this. So use dispatch, and here we have this dispatch, and inside of this dispatch we have a login, and the login state, the login dispatch function. Okay, So this is how we done with this. So on auth state chain, we just dispatch the login. What happened when we uh, have a null user? So it just go back in back to a fallback state. So to protect that, we just we first of all, what we will do, we just remove first of all create an auth user object like this. So here, and we just create a condition. So if we have auth user, then we just go go to this and use this dispatch function like this. So if we have auth user, then dispatch the login state. Else, so let's click on this. Else, dispatch the logout state. So dispatch the logout reducer that we already created in the user slicer. So this is how. And inside of this login state, we will have a payloads there. Okay, so payload will have all the informations there. So we will have a unique ID. So here we have a unique ID. So auth user dot ID, so which is a unique ID, UID. Then we have a name. So just provide the auth user dot name like this, the display name. So let's put the display name like this. Okay, so then we have last sign in state. So last sign in also we get from the user dot metadata. Inside of this metadata, we have last sign in time here, and we have a profile pic. So let's put the profile pic here, profile, or just put the pic here. So profile pic will be your auth user dot photo URL. So if we have this photo URL, okay, so if we have the photo URL, just grab this photo URL, copy this and paste it down here. Otherwise you can simply pass link of any photo URL. So let's grab the link here. So let's put it, copy image address. So I'm just going to add this for the sake of now. Okay, so we have added this here. Okay, and the display name is here. So if we have the display name, just copy this. If we have this display name, so then add the display name. Otherwise we just use the email of that user. Okay, now the last thing that is left is verification. Is that verified or not? So verified. So verified here. So we just convert it to the string. So inside of this string, we just parse it to the string here. So auth user dot email verified. So you just give us a boolean value of true or false. So we just convert it to the string here. So this is all the payloads that is dispatched here. And now we can use any of the information in our project, anywhere in our project. So let's save this. Go back to your go back to this home.js, and here we just create a user state here. Same thing that we have done inside this app.js. So inside of this user selector, we have a select user. Now the select user have the updated state, right? The select user have the updated state of all the informations here. Okay, so we have saved this. I think we are just on the home page. Now you can see here we are on the home page because we have updated the state. So when we have saved that thing here, saved that page, now you can see here we have securely logged in here. Now we can simply update the ID and the rest of the stuff here. So just update the ID here. So here we have a user.id. Now you will see there the updated ID is here. Then we have the name. So just here, so here inside of this we have user.name. So now you will see here we have the name here, but it just contain the gmail.com. So what we will do is just simply remove that. So for that we will use a split function. So let's do this. So first of all, just parse it to the string, and after that we just simply split it by after the at the rate, and we just use the first one. So now it will be splitted here, and now we have a test name. Okay, then we have the verification status, either it is verified or not. So we just put there the string. No, okay, we have user dot verified. So verified, now you can see it is false. Okay, and the last is the login status. So last login, we just provide here user dot last sign in. So sign in. So here we have the last sign in status here. Okay, we are done with this. The only thing that is left to make this logout functionality clear. So how we will do this? So it is very easy. You can simply do in a 2 lines of code. So here on the logout button, we just add a on click property. So on click, we just call a function. So let's call the function handle logout like this, and the logout, create a function, define a function at the top, const handle logout like this. Okay, so here we just give a condition. So if we accidentally click on this button, we just got the logout. So for that we just add a 1 step delay. Just ask whether you want to log out or not. So for this we will use window.confirm. So window.confirm, and here we just pass wanna break up with us, like this. Okay, just put the sad emoji like that. Okay, so if it is true, then we have an auth, and auth provide a sign out function here. So just click here, and inside of this we have this sign out. So now let's save this here. So we have saved this. When I click on this logout, now you will see wanna break up with this. When we click on this, okay, you will see we are back to the login page. So here it is the registration status. So click on this login, and now log in with this. So we have already created the test.gmail.com, provide the password. Now click on this, done. Now you can see here logged in successfully, and we are back to the home page. So this is the whole authentication system here. I think you would like this video. If you would, then make sure to drop the like button, and if you have any doubts regarding this whole authentication system tutorial, you can simply ask your doubt in the comment box. I will try to answer all your doubts, or you can simply directly message me on the Instagram, where I active there. Okay, so this is the whole authentication system. I'll just simply click on this logout here, and just register a new user here. So let's register with a new user, ekkyjacker@gmail.com, and here we just provide the password here. So we are registered here with this name and whole thing here. So we are securely logged in here. So here using this Firebase, you guys can simply add more features to this, just like a forgot password option there. You can simply add an update your password, reset your password. All these features you can add using this Firebase authentication. This is the whole simple authentication system that we have built using the Firebase. So that's it from this build. We will meet in the next build, which will be Google authentication, the Facebook authentication, the Twitter authentication, the GitHub authentication. So we will cover all this authentication in a single part. So that part will be a very, very important. Don't forget to subscribe this channel, because we are going to add that video in very next 2 days, after 2 days. So till then, Have a nice and awesome day. And if you have any queries, make sure to comment below your doubts here. Okay, so that's it from this build. Thank you for watching this video.